Having a written budget is very important as it helps you track all your income and all your expenses. But which budget items do you prioritize? Because it can become quite foggy quickly as to which budget items to prioritize and make sure that they're catered for every single month. In this week's MoneyWise Wednesday segment, we look at the 4 most important budget items to help you eliminate the uncertainty as to which budget items are more important than others. And this will in turn help you improve your financial situation. And I'm hoping that by now you are in a habit of drawing up a new written budget every single month. If you're not there yet, do not worry, because this channel will help you budget consistently so that you improve your financial situation. Budget items are not made equal. Some budget items are more important than others. As it turns out, I am an advocate of saving and investing. But did you know that these two are not even the most important budget items? They really aren't. Let us learn about these 4 most important budget items to prioritize. Number 1, housing. Housing is the most important budget item because if you do not pay your rent or your mortgage, you will have a problem. You will find yourself sleeping in the streets, and no one wants this for themselves or any other person for that matter. So you have to make sure that you pay your rent or you pay your mortgage every single month, or you just make sure that in your budget you have catered for this. You have made sure that there are funds you can, allocate to housing. So housing also protects you from things like criminal elements. For example, if you find yourself sleeping in the streets, anyone can come and rob you at any time or rape you or whatever. All those horrible things that we do not wish to happen to anyone ever. And it also protects you against harsh weather, rain, snow. You need a place to stay. It is the most important thing. Number 2 would be food. Are you going to stay in a house without food? I do not think so, because food is very important to help us survive and sustain our lives. So it is important that second, you prioritize food, or you allocate funds for food to make sure that you don't go hungry, because you can actually survive 1 to 2 months without food. Although you will survive, you will be feeling weak, lethargic, and all those negative feelings that you get when you're hungry. And it is not a good feeling at all. You do not want that for yourself. So you have to make sure that you allocate money towards food. Number 3 is transportation. You have to be able to move from point A to point B. And most likely, you need to move from point A to point B to get to your job or your business. So you have to make sure that you've catered for this, because you need to be able to earn. If you can't even earn, then you can't even pay for the first 2 budget items. So getting from point A to point B, especially to work, is very important. Do not compromise this. You do not want to miss work, because now if you lose your job, you will not have money to pay for the first 2 budget items I have already talked about. So make sure that you cater for transportation. It does not matter whether you use public transport or you're using private transport. You have to make sure that you calculate accordingly how much you need for a whole month, and you allocate those funds and put them aside. Remember, these are in the order of importance, and so you do the first one, the second one, and the third one in this same order, because if you do not do this, there will be problems along the way. The 4th and last budget item to prioritize is utilities or services, and these are water and electricity. Now, think back to a time where maybe you did not have water for a whole day, 2 or even 3. You begin to get a dry throat, you become thirsty basically, your skin gets ashy because now it's dry and you haven't bathed in a few days, and then your armpits start to become sweaty and smelly probably, and that's something you want to really avoid. Make sure that you pay for water every single month, or in your budget. Make sure you allocate funds to pay for the water, and calculate how much water you need every month, because nowadays water is also prepaid just as electricity. So it's like you buy a certain amount of water for the whole month, and then you need to know how much water you need so that you allocate enough funds for the water. You don't want to find yourself not being able to bath. You have housing, you have food, and then you have transportation, but you can't bath. That's a big problem. How will you even get to work if you haven't even bathed and your armpits are sweaty? That's just something you need to look at quite seriously. And then still under utilities, you need to make sure that you pay for electricity. And I get teary-eyed just speaking about electricity. And if you live in South Africa, you will surely relate. But anyway, electricity is very important in our lives as it improves our quality of life. We can light using electricity, we charge our phones, we cook using electricity, we heat our houses and cool them depending on the season of the year. And so electricity is quite important. Also, we cool or refrigerate our food using electricity, and also cook using electricity. Although there are other alternatives, but it's something you can use it for. So you need to make sure that you prioritize electricity as the fourth most important budget item, because if you do not do this, then you are risking staying in a dark house and a cold house. So it's something you really need to make sure you prioritize. Make sure that you list these things in the same order I have listed for you here. They are arranged in the order of importance, and they're usually called the 4 walls. A house has 4 walls. A basic house has 4 walls. And so you have to make sure that you cover these 4 walls, which are first housing, second food, third transportation, and then utilities. You have to make sure you cater for all these before anything else, before you even think of saving. Any budget item that you think is emotionally close to your heart, it cannot get close to how important these 4 budget items are. So therefore, you have to always start with these 4 budget items. If you would like to learn more about budgeting, you can go on and watch this video over here.